2013 National Language Teacher of the Year, Noah Geisel.
Thank you. Wow, thank you so much for staying with us all afternoon. So excited to be here. When Lisa Lilly had this amazing idea to do these toy talks, she reached out and said, "Who's in?" And I thought, you know, ideas worth spreading. I've got one of those. I'm in. And I'm really excited about this idea. And it's not me, it's a whole team of folks. But the idea that I'm going to talk about is called recognizing assets and opening doors for our students. Now, the big idea really starts with solving a big problem. But before we get into addressing the big problem, I want to talk about a root cause of that problem. We've probably all seen something like this. We've probably spent many hours on our first joyous day back in August at school staring at paper like this. A lot of paper like this. Pages and pages of paper like this that our math colleagues start calculating the trees involved. And it's a root cause of the problem we're trying to solve. I put "the" in quotes there because I think it's a bit of a misnomer. What are we really measuring when we talk about the achievement gap? Because for me, we have a real issue here. The real achievement gap is not something that necessarily happens in school. It's something that happens from 18 through the rest of our lives. It's career, it's home and family, and it's personal contentment. And when we think about this real achievement gap, we have to ask ourselves, is this best measured by knowledge? Or is what goes into informing this gap, this achievement gap, more about skills? I clearly think it's more about skills. Another way to ask this is success after high school about what you know or about what you can do? And we don't have to just shoot from the hip and go with our gut as teachers about this, right? And we can read the 21st Century Skills Commission report. We can speak to employers about this. I was at Galvanize, this amazing shop that started in Denver. It has since expanded to Boulder, Fort Collins, San Francisco, Seattle, and I think they're starting in New York soon as well. And at Galvanize, they started out as an office share, but they're a whole lot more than that. They're offering this program called Full Stack, where they are charging folks $60,000 for half a year of tuition, after which over 90% of their graduates, and they're on their 15th cohort now, over 95% have a job making $75,000 plus within 6 months of graduating. And when I met with Jeff Dean, their director, I asked him, "What do you need to know to get in?" And Jeff said, "I don't care." He said, the piece of paper does not matter to me. I have folks here, I don't even know if some of them went to college. I care about skills. I went to Hexagon Mill in Denver, Colorado, and talked to my friend Dexter, where he is, and he was sincere about this, he manufactures dollhouses for adult men. And this is Dexter's quote here. And Dexter is serious about his adult dollhouses. He was in the middle on our tour there fulfilling a $50,000 Kickstarter campaign for these adult dollhouses. And this is what he said. He said, it's the skills that matter. I need to know if they can collaborate. I need to know if they have critical thinking skills. They're not concerned with knowledge. Employers can teach our graduates what they need to know. It's the skills that matter. So when we talk about the problem that we're solving, it's that our skills are invisible on transcripts and difficult to verify on a resume. Our young people can graduate and go to college and go to an employer and say, "I am amazing at critical thinking." The problem is that A+ in AP Spanish, that B- in AP Bio, doesn't communicate that. The problem is that her listing critical thinking on her resume is not verifiable. So we think we've come up with a really important answer to this really big question. And it's called badges. They're also known as micro-credentials. And again, I am not the inventor of this concept. Badges started about 4 years ago. A whole lot of smart people came together and said, you know, sort of like in the military with rank, sort of like in Boy Scout and Girl Scouts, we can establish criteria. We can describe the evidence required to meet that criteria for our learners, and then we can issue a credential to people who've met that criteria. And what's really cool about digital badges versus what we earned growing up, sewing onto our shirts, is that digital badges, we can attach the evidence. So it's not just that we've said this student, in order to show critical thinking, will meet this criteria. Take my word for it, I'm a trustworthy teacher. This student can upload a video, attach a Word document, give a link to her Prezi in which she has shown that she has met the criteria for unlocking this badge. And so I've had this amazing opportunity over the last year and a half to work with Aurora Public Schools in Colorado, where we've developed a badge system of 26 21st century skills. And we've gone beyond just the classroom level and communicating these badges to students, parents, teachers. We've built a whole ecosystem around this so that it's not just when a student raises her hand and says, "Miss, why should I care about your badges?" The teacher saying, "Because you should be intrinsically motivated to learn." We think it's important that our teachers have better answers than that. And so we've actually gone out to employers who are endorsing our badges and saying, if you earn the Boulder Engineering Studio's invention badge, because invention is so important to us, we're going to recognize your asset in invention and open a door to you by inviting you to our amazing studio where we invent everything from helicopter navigation systems to bear-proof trash cans. And you're going to get to spend a half-day job shadow here learning about what it's like to be an inventor and an engineer in the real world. We are recognizing assets and opening doors. Now, this is what we're doing with 21st century skills in Aurora, Colorado, but the excitement doesn't stop there. Because I approached ACTFL, I said, "Paul Sandrott, Marty Abbott, will you get crazy with me? Will you go and get weird with me? And let's recognize our students' language assets in order to open doors for them." And so we are really excited that we are launching a 3-year pilot program with an ACTFL language proficiency credential. We are going to be in 5 school districts, geographically diverse as well as linguistically diverse. We are going to be in year 1 looking to credential up to 30 students, year 2 up to 90 students in each of our 5 districts, and year 3 up to 180 students who are going to be receiving ACTFL language proficiency credentials based on their first language. Now, it's going to be awesome one day when we have this for all languages. Where we're starting right now is in recognizing the assets for our students whose assets are invisible on transcripts. That means our students who move to our country have language proficiency and cannot take that class in their school district, and so we can't transcript it. We're talking about our students who are fluent in Urdu. We're talking about our students who are fluent in Farsi, our students who are fluent in Swedish, Hungarian. Where our school districts do not yet offer a transcriptable course, we're going to offer a language proficiency credential, and ACTFL is secured from ACE credit recommendations, so that these students will not only get a credential, they're also going to be able to get college credit for their language proficiency. Now, this is a really big deal, and it's not just a big idea and a big solution. It is a big deal that makes us really excited, and people are taking notice. This is not Photoshop. In June, we got on the radar of the Clinton Global Initiative meeting. which is an invite-only meeting for 1,000 people. I got invited and got to thank you. People are taking notice of what we are doing in our profession. We are so far ahead of the curve here at ACTFL because this is not, digital badges, in case you're wondering, is not in danger of being a flavor of the week. This is not a K-12 fix for the real world that the real world didn't ask for. Digital badges are already happening in the real world. Colleges are ahead of K-12 on this. Industry is ahead of all of us. At Salesforce, a $6 billion company every year in annual revenue, they have just in the last few months issued over 150,000 digital badges. During this talk, they have issued badges. This is real world stuff, and K-12 and college, we're just catching up. And I think as exciting as this is to announce it today, the most exciting thing about it is that we're just getting started, because we're going to do this 3-year pilot in 5 school districts with up to 180 students in each district by year 3. But imagine when we come to your district, your district, your district, your college. We want to be everywhere, and we can't wait. And we're just recognizing our students' assets in order to open doors. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming and for joining us on this adventure.